You're watching The Press Row. I'm Mike Sherman here with the Oklahoman columnists Jenny Carlson, Barry Trammell, and John Rohde. And we're talking about Bob Stoops, Notre Dame, and the college football coaching carousel. Guys, it looks like the carousel will stop spinning and Bob will not be in South Bend. Do we believe that, John?
Yeah, I believe that. And I can certainly believe they would be interested in him. And I can equally believe, Jenny, he is not interested in them. Not the job it once was, as Barry wrote more than once probably, that the winning percentage is somewhere around .583, if I'm not mistaken, Barry, for the last three coaches.
Well, at some point, the job is what it is. And I think Notre Dame can get back to the top, and I think Bob Stoops would have been a great hire for Notre Dame. But I think it would have been a step down for Bob. And while some of him probably thinks, hey, it'd be pretty cool to go to Notre Dame and recapture the echoes, wake up the echoes. He's got it pretty good in Norman, Oklahoma. And, it doesn't surprise me at all that he's still here.
I think it's about a 99% chance he stays at OU and doesn't go to Notre Dame. I still think there's an outside chance. He left the door just a little bit open with his teleconference earlier this week. He had a chance to slam it shut and say, I'm not going to be the next Notre Dame coach. He didn't do that. I think he might have been playing a little cat and mouse with the media on the call, but for whatever reason didn't do that. But he's got lifetime job security at OU. He's got all the things that he wants. And I've said this before, guys, but I think the fact that he likes who he works for, David Boren, Joe Castiglione, and they work well together, I think that makes a big difference. You might think, hey, the guys that I'm going to work for, they look pretty good, but until you're in that situation, you don't know. So I think that counts for something too.
So if Stoops wouldn't leave the Sooners for South Bend, is there a job out there that he would leave OU for?
He'd leave for retirement. I think that's about it. I think he's going to be here as long as he wants to be here. Maybe stick around long enough to be the all-time winningest coach in 4 or 5 years. He'd be around 54, 55 then. Nice big house. I'd say he's here till retirement, Barry.
Well, I think the odds are that that's exactly what he'll do. I think it's possible he could one day wake up and say, you know what, I think I'll go coach somewhere else. I don't think it'll be in Notre Dame. I don't think he's going north. I think he likes warm weather. So I think he might go to a Florida. I think he might go to a Florida State. If Jimbo Fisher doesn't work out 3 or 4 years from now in Bobby Bowden's wake, maybe Tallahassee calls. Maybe the NFL comes calling, Jacksonville or Miami or Tampa Bay, whoever. I think if he leaves, he's going south.
I think there's only 3 college jobs that he would ever even consider leaving Norman for. And that's why I think there's been talk about Notre Dame. I think that's one of the schools because of the Catholic connection, and I think the geography. He's from around the Notre Dame area. That's closer to home. But I think Florida's the other job because of previous connections and friends. He's friends with the AD, Jeremy Foley there. The only other job in the college ranks I think he might leave for is a job I think he would go in the sort of twilight of his career, and that's Iowa. Maybe the chance to go back to his alma mater. But that's down the road. And now in sort of the middle and the meaty part of his career, I think he's staying at OU unless, like Barry said, unless the right NFL situation comes along. But I think he's had those opportunities and hasn't taken them.
Thanks, guys. That's all for the Press Row, but you can stay with the best coverage team anywhere, every day at News OK, and every morning in the Oklahoman.